we are looking at a political story, a development very closely. He was the face of BJP's aggressive push in Tamil Nadu. But now, Annamalai may be sidelined not for performance, but for political expediency. As the BJP and the AIADMK inch closer to an alliance ahead of 2026, sources have said Annamalai's caste, not his leadership, has become a liability. Is this a pragmatic reset or a betrayal of the party's most visible Tamil face? Annamalai's fiery camps and campaigns gave the BJP unprecedented visibility in Tamil Nadu, but his rise may now be collateral damage in the party's bid to woo the AIADMK. The reason? Caste arithmetic. Both Annamalai and AIADMK chief Edappadi Palaniswami are Gaundas from western Tamil Nadu, a duplication that the BJP fears could limit its appeal. Sources have said Delhi has gently nudged Annamalai to step aside, offering vague promises of a national role. Annamalai was told, and in fact, in an address, he himself has said what was said to him: trust the party strategy. He in fact reportedly agreed and publicly said that he is willing to work as a mere cadre within the party in Tamil Nadu. Now, who's the likely replacement at this point? Thevar leader Nainar Nagendran, a former AIADMK hand whose community dominates southern districts, a region key to countering the DMK. For the BJP, this is cold-blooded social engineering. For Annamalai supporters, it's a stunning betrayal after his micro-analysis showed BJP's gains in southern and western zones. Now, Annamalai's demotion, dressed up as a recalibration, exposes the BJP's dilemma: stick with its lone Tamil star or dilute his identity for alliance gains. But with the DMK watching, one question lingers, and it is the question of the hour. Will sacrificing Annamalai yield votes or backfire as a sign of weak conviction? A high-risk move by the BJP, no doubt, but will it checkmate the DMK or alienate Annamalai's base? That is the question of the hour that we are looking at. In fact, we will be joined, and we are being joined by our panelists for this very bulletin: Professor Mukund Padmanabhan, senior journalist, and S. Venkat Narayan, senior journalist. Thank you, gentlemen, for speaking to us on News9 on this very matter that we are looking at. And, you know, this question, the first question at this given hour is for both of you. I'll first come to Professor Padmanabhan, and then Mr. Narayan, I'll also take the response from you. Why is Annamalai being sacrificed at this given point at what seems to be the altar of alliance politics?
Well, I think a good part of the reason has to do with the 2024 results. So if you pass the 2024 results at the DMK's 27% and the Congress's 10-something percent, and the gap between that and the ADMK, which just polled around 20%, is huge. And the DMK, even though it did spectacularly compared to 2021, the state election, polled about 10%. So I think part of the compulsions on the part of both parties is that they had to get together if they wanted to have some semblance of a chance. And I think that was compounded by the fact that there are very few allies for the ADMK, unlike the DMK. Vijay is not going to join them, Seaman's party is not going to join them, and the Congress and the left parties are pretty much tied up with the DMK. So I think there was this issue as well. So I think it's a short-term sort of arrangement. And I think it was entirely driven by, calculation. I don't think the idea was to humiliate or downgrade Annamalai in some way. I think it was cold, cynical calculation, and we'll have to see whether it works or not.
Narayan, your views on this very question at this given point?
Well, obviously, Priya, this is basically, hard political decision. They realized that Annamalai and Palaniswami belonging to the same community, Gaundas, there could be a problem about the votes and so on. and that's why they are replacing Annamalai with someone belonging to the Thevar community, hoping that he will fetch votes for the BJP-AIADMK combined. But the thing is that the AIADMK and BJP fought the last Lok Sabha elections last year, and both of them failed miserably. The DMK alliance swept the polls by, getting 38 out of 39 seats, whereas 7 of AIADMK candidates lost their deposits, and in 13 seats they were defeated because they cut into each other's votes. So it is a hard reality that the AIADMK needs to team up with other parties, and DMK has collected all the other little parties, and small parties go to those parties which are in power. That is understandable. So and I think AIADMK also approached Vijay Thalapathy for alliance, but he says, well, if you make me the chief minister, I will join hands with you. But that was obviously not acceptable to Palaniswami. So, but even if the BJP and AIADMK join hands and fight elections in April next year, Priya, I'm not very sure if they will be successful at all, because assembly elections are quite different from Lok Sabha elections, and the issues which are being trumped up by Stalin, namely the 3-language formula and the delimitation exercise, it is having some impact. The other thing is Vijay, in opinion polls, suggests that he is the second most popular man in Tamil Nadu. So unless Vijay comes on board and joins hands with the AIADMK and BJP, I am not very sure they will have much luck in the assembly elections next year. Priya?
Right. Mr. Narayan, I'm going to make a small correction there. The name is Sriya here that you're speaking to.
Priya, okay,
but no worries. We'll continue with the discussion here. Professor, I will come to you next. So at this given point, looking at the entire situation, would you say that despite whatever went down between the two alliance partners, BJP and the AIADMK, at this point, the BJP is okay with being the B team of AIADMK, especially for the assembly elections that is approaching in Tamil Nadu?
Well, I mean, the answer is, if Annamalai is going to go and he's going to be replaced, then the answer is yes, they're going to maybe be not the B team, but say B plus, if anything. They might be given a fair share of seats, and who knows? The elections are a long way away. They might actually, the upside is they might expand their electoral footprint. The downside, of course, is that people see this as an unprincipled alliance, and one that lacks conviction. And it's possible that people perceive it that way because the entire platform that Annamalai has built over the last few years, and the entire possible reason for his success was to distance himself from both the parties. I mean, and apart from the caste calculations, Annamalai was personally a problem for the ADMK. Some of the things he said about Jayalalitha and other things irked the ADMK leadership. So, apart from, recalibration in terms of caste, and they're both Gaundas, I think probably both the High Command or basically the BJP High Command probably thinks it's more politic to have a leader who can be a little more accommodative and who is willing to play B plus. And Annamalai was anything but a B team player. I mean, he was, he positioned the BJP as being an independent player in Tamil Nadu.
Right. So, Mr. Narayan, from what you also described at this given point, it is the AIADMK that also requires a strong alliance partner in Tamil Nadu to fight the DMK, especially after what we witnessed in the general elections in 2024. Let's also understand that if Annamalai indeed is to be sacrificed at this given point, where does the BJP stand in Tamil Nadu? Because the BJP has been trying to make inroads. So if they end up becoming a B plus within this alliance as well, where does that leave the party in Tamil Nadu specifically, if we were to speak of?
You see, historically, the national parties necessarily played as B teams, when it came to an alliance between the Congress and the DMK at one point of time, and alliance between Indira Gandhi's Congress and MGR. They are regional parties, and the national parties have very little presence, I'm afraid. They since 1967, they have not tasted power in Tamil Nadu. The DMK and the AIADMK have been ruling the state alternately. So it makes a lot of sense for the BJP to play a secondary role. Just because they're running Delhi doesn't mean that they should dominate politics in Chennai and Tamil Nadu. So that's one thing. And we also need to remember and remind our viewers that Karunanidhi was dismissed from power by Indira Gandhi in 1976 and by Chandrasekhar in 1991. Jayalalitha, was found to be corrupt, and she was jailed, and she had to resign from the chief ministership after spending 21 days in a Bangalore jail. The Karnataka High Court acquitted her, and she got back the chief ministership. So the point is, corruption and things of this kind are not uncommon in Tamil Nadu. So the national parties, namely Congress as well as the BJP, will continue to play second fiddle to the powerful regional parties unless Vijay performs a miracle and gets a majority of the seats. I don't see either the DMK or the AIADMK, being thrown out of, the reckoning in Tamil Nadu.
Right. We're running out of time at this given point. So, Professor, I'll come to you for one last question. That is the alternative to Annamalai that we're looking at this given point. Who might we look at as a leader in the alliance between the BJP and the AIADMK in the upcoming days?
I think the name that's being tossed around is Nagendran. I think that's a possible name. I can't think beyond that at the moment right now. But I'll just add one more thing before
Sure.
just signing off. I think very, very briefly is that I think with this decision, if Annamalai goes and if with the alliance, the BJP will lose its image as a party that is pressing for an alternate kind of rule. Okay, it joins in some way. It fuses itself into the mainstream of Tamil Nadu politics with all the negatives that Mr. Venkat talked about, issues of corruption and so on. So this idea of being outside the fold and doing something completely new, I think, would go with this. I'm not sure how long this alliance will last, even if they stitch it together. I think it's going to be an opportunity one that will last for a very short time. A little after the election, perhaps.
Right.